What's going on, guys? It's your boy J Soul Picks with another day of NBA. Today is November 22nd, 2022. And let's go ahead and kick things off. We got Brooklyn Nets versus Philadelphia 76ers. I'm going to do, since we have a small slate today, I will have all the games on this short video. So I'll give my little quick breakdown, my leans, and my official bets. So let's go ahead and start off here. Brooklyn Nets, they are laying 8 points. The line moved now. They're laying 8 points on the road against Philly. Currently, they hold 79% of the tickets and 94% of the money. Notable injuries, Watanabe has been ruled out, and Claxton is in the lineup for Philadelphia. Korkmaz is probable. Embiid's out. Tyrese Maxey's out. And Tobias Harris is probable. So it's an interesting game, a kind of a revenge game on both sides with Ben Simmons going back to Philly. Man, that crowd's going to be crazy. And, of course, James Harden is out of the lineup, so he will not be getting his revenge today. Initially, my initial lean here is to go with Brooklyn. They are in the better form between both of these teams, winning 3 out of their 5 last games and covering 3 as well. This is their their first game on the road after being at home, beating Memphis by 12. And this team looks good. They've improved their defense. And Kyrie is back in the lineup. His first game was against Memphis, so he looks good. So this is a Nets team that I'm probably not going to be fading anytime soon. They look like they're in top form right now. So it's a pretty much a bet on Brooklyn for the time being. Although laying -8 on the road is kind of pricey for me. On the other hand, we have Philly. This is their 5th game on this homestand. I think they have one more, and they've had a pretty good one. They've won 3 out of the last 4 of the homestand, and they've covered all 4. So this is their 5th game home. Pretty strong spot to continue to maybe back Philly here. They're also, getting a lot of points at home. It's pretty ridiculous. Let's take a look at the situational trends here. The Nets, they are altogether 8 and 9 ATS, but they've been playing and covering games as of late. Started off the season pretty poorly. And the Philadelphia is 9 and 7 ATS. As a home team, they're 6 and 4. And as a underdog, they're 4 and 2, all above 500 as far as ATS trends go. As for the Nets, as an away team, they are 5 and 4 ATS. As a favorite, 4 and 5. As an away favorite, they're 1 and 1. And as far as rest advantage goes, I believe this is equal rest advantage. Both teams playing. Oh no, Philly does have the rest advantage. Last game was on the 19th, which was about 3 days ago. Brooklyn has played a couple of days ago, so Philly will be the more rested team, and Brooklyn is traveling. So a bunch of positive indicators on both sides. So for me, this is a pretty easy pass. But if I were to force to make a pick, my best pick of this game would probably be Brooklyn first half. I think it's like at -4.5, but I'm definitely not going to bet this one. So the next game, we have Sacramento Kings going to Memphis. And currently, I believe the Grizzlies are laying -1. Sacramento is taking 75% of the tickets, 86% of the money. So a lot of the majority is on the Kings as well as the money. Couple notable injuries. Ja Morant, he is questionable. Upgraded to questionable today. Was spotted at shoot around. Will ultimately be a game time decision. On the other hand, Kings, they're full go. Everyone's healthy there. Desmond Bain is still out for the Grizzlies, which is a pretty big deal. But we got Triple J back in the lineup. Ja Morant, if he does end up playing, I'm not sure if he'll be 100% on the ankle. That's one thing to note. But I do have an official play. This is my second max play of the season, guys. I love the Grizzlies in the spot. It's super contrarian, I know, but hear me out. There's a couple key points for this Grizzlies, why I'm taking the Grizzlies. But first, let's go ahead and just take a look at each team's current form and a couple ATS trends here. So, whoops. Let me go back there. So, this Sacramento team has been on a tear. They're 4-1 ATS their last 5, 8-2 ATS their last 10, 11-4 ATS overall. They've been on the tear, coming off a 4-game homestand where they won all 4 games and covered 3 out of the 4, not covering their last game against Detroit. But they are on a 6-game winning streak, guys. The Kings aren't on a winning streak. They're a very hot team. Key notable wins, though, in the homestand. I mean, if you look at their, latest body of work and who they played a Detroit team, Spurs team, who, they're pretty much tanking. And they blew out this Brooklyn team by 32. But since then, Brooklyn has been playing better. They beat Golden State and then Lakers. So nobody that's, in that top tier, in my personal opinion. But if we go back and look at Memphis, this is they're going back home after losing to Brooklyn by 12. They have covered only 2 of the last 5 games and 4 of 6 of the last 10, 6-10 ATS. Memphis was a juggernaut ATS machine last season, and they started off pretty poorly here, but for reasons, they didn't have Triple J. Bain's now out of the lineup. Ja Morant's been nursing an ankle, so they haven't been really complete. Zaire, what's that? That rookie's still out. Zaire Williams, I believe, is his name. So he's still out. Pretty crucial bench piece. So right now, the Kings are in better form than the Grizzlies, but here's why I like the Grizzlies today. This would be the Kings' first road trip after a long 4-game homestand, which is a plus EV spot to fade the team on their first game. If they had a successful homestand, as you can see, they've covered 3 out of their 4 of the homestand and won all 4. So this is a plus EV fade spot against Sacramento. This hits at a very high rate, in my opinion, over 70%. It could go either way. It's a similar angle I like to take when, a team had a successful road trip and then they come back home first game. I like to fade them. And it could go inversely as well. If a team has played poorly on a homestand and they go on the road for the first game, I like to back them, right? So it really depends on the situation. If they played poorly on a homestand or poorly on a road trip and coming back that first game on the road or first game at home, I like to either fade them or back them depending how well that previous trip or homestand went. So in this case, Sacramento had a very, very good homestand. First game on the road, change of environment. They're used to shooting at their home gym. Now this is their first game on the road. This is a fade spot for me. Another couple key trends I'd like to note out on why I like the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies historically have owned the Kings, winning 7 of their last 7 straight up against the Kings. So this would be their 8th game. They've won the last 7. Another reason why I like the Grizzlies here is they've been poor. They've been poor ATS this season, but at home they're 5-2 ATS, 4-1 the last 5 games at home. So this is their role as far as ATS. They're just better at home at covering games. And after a loss, I like them here. After losing in Brooklyn, coming back home with Ja potentially back in the lineup. A couple of other key trends here. Grizz, they are ranked 6th in defensive efficiency at home. So there's a reason why they've been covering, playing better at home. Their defense is a lot better. Maybe it's due to that home crowd. And on the other hand, Kings are 28th overall in defensive efficiency and 24th average in their last 3. So Kings have been pretty much beating teams by just outscoring them. I think they'll have a little trouble here against a Grizzly team who plays better defense at home. And one thing I also want to know why I like the Grizzlies today. This line opened up at, I believe, -1. It was kind of bouncing back from -1 the Kings, +1 Kings. And I think based on the current form, I think the odd makers, they want you to take the Kings in this spot. And it reflects the ticket percentage and the money percentage. Personally, if I was opening this line for the main goal of getting even distribution, I would probably set the line at -3. For that being said, -1 for the Grizz. It's like everything on the surface says, hey, this line is too easy. Let's take the Kings. But I think there's more to it than that. I think it's kind of fishy. I like the Grizzlies here at the -1. And as far as Ja, I think he does play regardless. If he doesn't play, I think the line will be adjusted to maybe +2.5, +3 Grizz, and I still like him at that number. It's just a very strong angle here, plus EV system to fade the team first game on the road after a successful homestand. So this will be my second max play of the season. I like the Grizzlies 3 units official -1. And that's actually my only official pick for today. I have a couple strong leans that I may make official later on. But let's touch base on the other 2 games since we have a short slate today. There's Detroit going into Denver. Denver is laying the -5.5 at home. Denver's holding 59% of the tickets and 55% of the money. Initially, man, I was kind of leaning towards Detroit here as a dog, and Denver without possibly Jokic. But he is questionable. I think he was in COVID health and safety protocols. That's the same with Jamal Murray. So they're both questionable. Bones Highland is questionable with the illness. So is Peyton Watson and Ish Smith. Ish Smith's questionable with the calf. But it seems like there's some sickness going around in that locker room. So I wouldn't be too confident in backing Denver here, especially after the game winner against Dallas as a +10 underdog. So you could say this might be a letdown spot for Denver. On the other hand, Detroit, they've been on a losing streak. They're probably one of the worst teams in the association right now. Cunningham continues to be out of the lineup. They just listed Saddiq Bey, I think, out for another couple weeks. So they got Bogdan, Bagley in the starting lineup, Ivy. So a bunch of young guys, maybe they're hungry. I think they could probably keep this close. If we take a look at their recent games, their last 6 losses have been within, single digits. So you could say they might be close to picking up a W here. I can only look Detroit +5.5. I just wish it was a little bit larger because they've been getting, 10.5, 6.5, 10.5. This is kind of too short for a really bad Pistons team, but I definitely understand it with Nikola being out on the other side. But I can only like Detroit here. Not strong enough to make it official, but who knows? If I get a confirmation, maybe Nikola's out, I may make Detroit official, but not there yet. Next game. And the last game, actually, we got LA Lakers going into Phoenix Suns. Suns are laying -9.5. It's been shooting back and forth from -9.5 to -10. Phoenix, they hold 67% of the tickets, 70% of the money. A little bit sharp, big money on Phoenix, which is understandable. Key injuries for this game. I believe LeBron was questionable questionable early in the day, but he has been officially ruled out. A couple other key injuries to note. Juan Toscano Anderson is questionable with the back. Anthony Davis is on the injury report, but looks like he is upgraded to probable, so most likely playing. Chris Paul is out. So I haven't made this official yet, but I definitely like the Suns in this spot. May take them first half and full game, 1 unit each, but again, haven't made it official. Check out the Twitter for that. The reason being, man, there's a couple, one key thing here, another system play where we want to fade the team first game on the road after a successful homestand. We talked about this earlier in that Kings-Grizz game, and Lakers fit this criteria. They're coming off a 4-game homestand where they won and covered 3 out of the 4, and this would be their first game on the road. One thing to note as well, the previous game against the Spurs, they blew those guys out by 31 points. This would be their largest margin of victory for the season, so even more reason to fade the Lakers here. In my capping, I look at teams after a very bad blowout loss or a team that had a blowout win. I usually like to fade them or take them depending if it's a win or loss the very next game. So taking a look at it, Lakers best game of the season. This should be a letdown spot for them. On the other hand, we have Phoenix. They've been playing pretty well with Chris Paul out of the lineup. A double-digit victory against New York on the 20th. Prior to that, they've been kind of winning, losing. It's been back and forth after starting out the season pretty strong. I think they started out the season like 6-1. Now they've gathered up a couple losses, losing 3 of their last 5. So I think Phoenix will be motivated to win this game and cover the number. They're 2-1 ATS as a double-digit favorite. So I like this spot for Phoenix a lot. I know the number is large, but this is indicating a blowout win here for Phoenix. I think they blow these guys out. I'm going to take them first half and full game. Not official yet. Just in case, this sneaky backdoor comes along. Only worried about that backdoor just because Phoenix does hold majority of the money. So in those cases, it is kind of concerning for the backdoor cover. Another couple key things to note here for the Lakers. 6 out of their last 10 losses were by a margin of 11 points or more. So when they lose, they've been losing by margin, and I think Phoenix could keep the lead and hold it here. They've done a pretty good job at that, compared to teams like Timberwolves or the Knicks, where they could be up 15 plus and they could just implode in the fourth. The Phoenix is not that team. So I like the Suns here. I would take them at the -9.5 or the -10 even, and I think the first has that -5.5. I like this spot for them. And yes, I think that's all the games today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the breakdown. Probably more videos like this. I tried to do the single videos with the games, but I think it's just a little bit more easier for me to do all the games for the slate. And for the bigger slates, I'll probably just end up doing or capping the games that I'm involved in, and then touch base on the other games. So if you enjoyed the video, guys, go ahead, hit that like, and share the video. All right, good luck today.